Right, have I hit the right button? Hopefully I have. Good evening, everybody. It's a madhouse as per usual. I'm thoroughly disorganised. I can barely got a clear spot on my desk to move around in. And yeah, I should know. You know, it's Tuesday. I should be prepared, but alas, when am I ever? When can't even talk either. When am I ever prepared? Easy for me to say. How are we all? I hope you're all well on this fine and dandy Tuesday. It's been a fine day today. Yesterday was horrible. Peed it down. But today's been a good day, apart from having to go to a funeral today. You know, which everybody knows the background from like a month ago. This relative. So there was finally the funeral today. So yeah, that's all that done, and we can get on with normal life again now. Excuse me about slurping my tea, but you know what I'm like. I always slurp. Anyways, good evening, Paul. What are you doing in Alnwick? It's rather close, disturbingly close. Hope you're well, sir. Are you on a bit of a jaunt? Are you up for work, or I would say, if you're hanging around, I would say meet up. But I've got a full day on tomorrow, unfortunately. Or it's as good as a full day anyway. Good to see you, John. I had a great time in Scotland. It was lovely to get away. To get away from here. Not you guys. To get away from home. For a bit. Photography. Oh. Give me a shout, Paul. I may have some. I may just ditch some work tomorrow. Yeah. Give us a shout. But yes, had a great time in Scotland. The photography was a bit rubbish, so tonight we might struggle. I have been trying to do some editing off stream this since last Tuesday, and it's been a bit of a struggle. I have to admit, it's been a bit of a struggle. I haven't made anything I like yet. But last week, after Tuesday, whatever day it was, I went into Newcastle and did some photography of the Tyne Bridge and the Sage Building, and you know, a couple of bits like that. They came out great. So maybe it's just Scotland, or the fact that I've been severely out of practice. So that's a tip for you: always be in practice. Keep the practice up, otherwise you will struggle. Good evening, Peter. Yes, it's snowing again, and don't confuse your work with me. To be honest, you know, make sure your mind is fully on the money making bit. But yeah, I think it's still a lot of snow around. I keep on seeing videos from like Tahoe, and it's like just crazy. They're going like 4 feet of snow in a few hours. This kind of stuff, absolutely nuts. So I think we got about 3 inches last week. What day was that? Was that the back end of the week or the weekend? I can't remember. I really can't remember already. But it was a lovely day. Bit of a shock to wake up to find all that snow on the floor, but yeah, it was there. Barely any snow in Norfolk. Yes, I think further south. I think it was kind of the Midlands and Yorkshire, and got quite a bit, didn't there? There was a lot of the M62 was blocked, or very, 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 very slow going. They were on about like 10-hour delays and things like that. So like the middle of the country kind of got it. So yeah, not much in not much in Norfolk, but it was nice that we only got a little bit, and it went away pretty quickly. That's always a good sign. Good evening, Sergio. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Yeah, I was being snowed on plenty, but thankfully just not very much of it. So it's been good. It's been good, right? So that's pretty much what I've been up to. Like I say, in Newcastle the other day. So I have put a couple of pictures out on Twitter. I think I did. Maybe I should do more twittering. I put a couple of them on, and I haven't posted any of the other bits I've done from Scotland because the images were so bad. Well, not so bad. One of them is actually the thumbnail for this video, but it's not been. It's been hard going. So hopefully tonight we're getting a little bit more into it. So tonight, what I'm going to do is start work on a set of images that I made on the first full day we were in Scotland. And if you know anything about my work from the last 10 years or whatever, I made an image of a stone circle. Maybe it's about 2015, maybe a little bit after that. But just along the road from where we were, there was it's quite rocky. So on this rocky outcrop, there was like a set of boulders on top of it, and so that kind of reminded me of this stone circle which I photographed yonks ago, and so I tried to get some ICM of that. So that's what we're going to have a go at tonight. I will show you. Excellent, Sergio. Excellent. Very good. Right, so if I switch this to here. I love the way I talk through these things and pressing buttons and things like that. You would think I'd never streamed before. So this is the group of boulders on top of this rocky mound, whatever you want to call it. So I did quite a bit of ICM. I shot 50. Yeah, 50 frames of this. Yeah, that was the beach. Of these stones. Yeah, you can see what they're like. That's a house. And you had the Isle of Skye in the background, which in a way I was trying to photograph, so some of that would stay. But you know what ICM's like. Not the easiest to control. So we have data that's kind of like this. Some of them are probably okay. See, I was trying to retain some of the detail in the islands behind as a thought process of possibly having some of that detail in the finished frame, but it's hard to do. So let's just scrub through these. I haven't gone into the proper manoeuvres, and I haven't been through to pick any of these out yet. So this is how organised I am. It was a case of right, we're going to do that, without thinking I hadn't done anything with them. So I think we will pick that one out. So as per usual, we'll probably do 5 frames and see where we end up. Maybe he's nowhere. What I want is somewhere there's quite a lot of reverse in the sky. The sky's quite dark to possibly make it moody. Like this one, you can see there's a lot of stuff. So that can be used to layer in and give things a bit of depth, a bit of darkness. And you want bits where it's just kind of clipping as well. So possibly that one as well. And excuse me, I'm a bit throaty and a bit nasally today. So that one. So I do need some with the actual stones in as well. So I think probably that one. Don't want to go all about the sky because I do need some Sim structure. Are you going to rotate for me? Oh, we're through all those ones. So I've got a few picked out there. Maybe 5. I've got 5 picked out, but I think we need a bit more structure around the stones to bring that out. Did I pick that one? No. Let's pick that one. This might be a much bigger, like more than 5 frames. Right, I want something with a bit of detail. I've picked that one out. Okay. So maybe it's that one, and let's go with. Let's go with that one, and if we can find one with the islands in the background to possibly just strip it in. Like that one. Right, okay, so rated and then I can find them. Fantastic, there we go. I am not going to use 12 though. I have 12 frames lined up here. I ain't using 12, that's for certain. So let's refine these. Yeah, there's something about that, right? So the ones that I am going to actually definitely use, I'm going to give these 2 stars. So I think I'll go with that one because it's got definition. I'm worried about this very strong line here, so maybe not use this one. Sky wise, I want that darkness there. Probably get away with that one. I quite like that one, and that one. It's retained a bit of sharpness in there. So do we actually use that one in fact, and just really just kind of only use the actual stones and not this, get into the having to deal with this very strong line? Something to think about. Right, you're very quiet. I know there's only a few of you tonight, but you are very quiet. Hopefully my mic is working fine. I did notice when I was recording some audio the other day that it was kind of cutting out on certain things, so I need to play around with it. Right, so if I make that to 2 stars. 2 stars, man. There we go. Right, so that's 6 frames. Okay. So if we work off this one to get all the settings sorted, which we'll just paste over to the next one. I'm just wondering about how strong do I go in with the colour, because my colour game has been off recently. I think that's one of the problems I've had, is that I just can't get that. If you obviously if you know my process, then the colour at the start is very, very much that follows right through the process. So if you don't get that colour right at the start, or kind of know where it's going to go, it can cause you a lot of issues, or causes me a lot of issues. So it's about being conscious of the colour at the start. So we'll just be brave and just go quite strong. So I am just using the preset in Lightroom there that I have had for many a year. I'm just going to check these settings. Yeah, that's fine. The detail thing, that's fine. Basic is, let's open the shadows up a little bit more. There we go. Just highlights back to about there. Drop the contrast. Lightroom's taking all the resources again. Any dust spots? I don't know. It's all very blocky. I presume not, then. Not enough resources to be able to do it. The bunny, I'm sure, will turn up at some stage, Peter. Right, that's fine. Let's leave that as it is. So I know this is a bit blind, but it is using a preset just to not speed things up, but just to kind of hopefully start off in the right manner. And yes, it did have the vignetting off. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, right. So if we, where's the? Oh, it's not. It's not selected them all the images. I was wondering why the sync button wasn't there. It hadn't been removed like the done button. Still haven't forgiven them for that. Right, so that's applied to them. 6 images. I now have a bit of a fear that this is going to be. Is this image going to be too light? I wish I could say I did, Sergio. I didn't, and which is quite annoying because I have got no whiskey left. Well, I've got the dregs of a bottle, but I'm completely out. Right, if I apply that, so I will use this one. I'm going to bring this in because it's got a lot more foreground. So you will just have to bear with me because it's going to take a little bit longer than normal to load all these into Photoshop, which we will start off now. Open as layers in Photoshop, and whilst it's doing that, I will switch back to presenting, just to help on the resources a little bit while it does on that. Well, we didn't actually get across the sky, we were near it. We were across the water from it. But no, we didn't do any of that. We were too busy taking photographs. Actually, where we were was quite, I was going to say it was not quite remote. You'd have to drive like for half an hour before you got to like a main road. You were right on the coast, and it was windy single track roads to get onto anything semi-major. Like the nearest sizable town was 10 miles away, but it took you probably half an hour to get there, I think. I don't know. It felt like it took forever. So you were pretty cut off. But we did go past a few distilleries, which, was either on the way there or on the way home. When you're on the way home, you just want to get back. So, good morning, Kangaroo. Just about morning anyway. How are you? Good to see you. Evening, Simon. Time change. Oh, have you all switched? Have you all? Because I think we change next week. Oh God, that's gonna be confusing. Afternoon. So you are. Oh, you're closer again. So is that all of the US is now closer for like the next week? I get confused about this because I think it's Saturday when we. Is it this Saturday when we change? I don't know. Or maybe it's next Saturday. I don't know. Somebody will tell me. Yeah, next time, Sergio. Next time, definitely. Everyone apart from Arizona and Hawaii. Okay. Right, so I will just have to be more conscious of posting times. Anyways, that's maybe why there's not so many people here as well. But that's fine. It's fine. I only got the word out in the last minute. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody in Britain here know when the clocks change? I have a feeling I'm sure somebody mentioned this week. Yeah. I think at some stage during the year, it's only about like a week's. There's like a week's different, and then in another stage, it's like a few weeks difference. It's all very confusing. All very confusing. Around the 25th. Oh, so we've got a fortnight yet. Oh, like 10 days now. Oh, well. So this must be the longer one. And then maybe it's in the autumn where it's only a week. Who knows? Well, I did see one post on TikTok about time change. I thought, well, that must be coming up. But it's already happened over there. Right, so back to screen. 26, alright. So we've got 10 or so days to go for that. Right, this blue might be a bit too blue for my liking. Not a good start. Well, we can sort that in the saturation game. Right, so yeah, it's a bit early in the year for changing it over here. Okay, so we've got the blend modes going. See what we're going to do. Not a lot on this, by the looks of this. It's always confusing when you're like, did technology change them, or do I have to change them? It's always a little bit confusing because you're like, has it changed or not? Been a long day. Oh, it must have been anyway. Right, so I'm going to line these stones up and kind of see where they are. Oh, I was going to say, everybody's mixed up for however long. It's so annoying. Okay, this one over here. To about there. Right, so I thought we'd get more action in the sky. Oh well. Never mind. Right, what I'm going to do before I start trying to balance everything else out, I'm going to try to knock this blue back. I'm going to make a new layer, fill it full of orange, go down to hue, and then just dial the colour in. And that has now killed that blue, thank God. It's a bit strong. But we do need to probably weaken some of it anyway. Right, so we had this layer, which I didn't really like, that really strong line. So we're going to use a mask on that, and we're going to do that. And this on, mask on here. And this one I'm actually going to, maybe not that much. Let's start it a bit further down. Yeah, it just gives it a little bit more structure. And just start dialing the strength of some of this back. And they say taking that layer out has made a big difference on the left hand side. So I don't want to take it out completely, I just want to reduce the strength of it, like so. And this one, that's fine, it's giving it a bit of depth, bit of moody sky because we've killed the colour, which is fine. And then these ones are just a case of lightning and it. We could nearly not bother with them. will keep a lot of the moody sky there. That's very blue, isn't it? If I just reduce that opacity a bit more, so there's a bit more blue. So these layers, just we'll put them like a big fat mask on it, and just kind of start it here and end it there, so it kind of splits in the middle, makes the bottom lighter. I know, Simon. It's frustrating, isn't it? It was only there. Was it the First World War when it started? I mean, now they're just bleating on about Scottish kids about getting run over at school. That's the excuse they make now. It's just like, just change it. Copy this mask into here. That's the foreground taken care of. So the sky, did I bring in that layer of, I don't think I did I? Damn you, Andy. No, I didn't, because it's there. Oh man, previous. Okay. Let's bring this in. Edit it in Photoshop. Let's bring this into Photoshop. Obviously, we'll have to drag it into the main image. I feel this chair sinking. Right, move tool. Just need to bring this into here. Thank you very much. We'll close that one down. No, I don't want to save that one. And this one, because basically it was just really, oh, this is a different scale, isn't it? Just to bring some of this island goodness onto the horizon, so we can actually get rid of a lot of this now. So we can do an inverted mask and then a paintbrush, and then we can just bring in some islands across there, which is is it doing anything? I don't know. Oh, there is there. Okay. Ending white. Yeah, that's there. Okay, so then erase the tool. We want to get rid of all this harsh stuff here. Let's go make that stronger, like 100% stronger. It's really we only want the hint of the islands in the background, like so. No worries, Simon. It's a fantastic show. Did you get the Christmas special as well? Oh, are you changing rules there, Sergio? In the UK, we're not going to be progressive or anything like that about it. Yeah, there's just that hint of island in the background, lovely. Right, okay, so I think if I bring that one up there, maybe it's just weaken this, yeah. Weaken that a tad. Okay, right, so I want curves layer. Just gonna brighten it a bit. Hue and saturation layer. So I want to drop the saturation. Maybe it's not quite of that. Just let's give us just the yellows. these light and wash them out a little bit. Some of them greys going. Something about there. Right, what's this? Yeah, let's adjust this a little bit more now that I've got that colour going. Be a bit braver, push that up. Yeah, it was a great series. And you had the benefit of watching it ding 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 right the way through. Some of us had to wait years for it to come back. But unfortunately now that you know that is it. That's that. He's now finito. I don't think Mackenzie Crook will ever bring it back now. Actually, the village that it was filmed in, they actually knocked down the hall. I think I had to film around it because there was a scene filmed outside it, wasn't it, in the Christmas special? But because the show was so successful and so much loved, people were bidding on things from the hall, which is probably why they did the bit of them clearing the hall out and throwing the stuff away. Yeah, good. I'm glad, Simon. It's definitely a worthwhile watch. Right then, Andy. Moment of truth. Analog Vex Pro. Select 2 there. Of course, now there's just nothing on TV. Not a thing. Depends what you pay for, like, obviously. Don't pay for Sky, so haven't seen The Last of Us. I haven't started watching Picard season 3 yet. So the only thing I'm watching with any deliberate measure is the Mandalorian. So a new episode tomorrow. But then again, I barely ever have time to watch TV. Always stuff on. Always stuff to do. I've got a pile of work to get through. March is turning out to be a busy month. And I've sat around twiddling my thumbs for half of it already. Can't believe it's the fright me life. It's the 14th, and I'm like, oh no, I've got all this to do before the end of the month. Not good. Right, so we maybe have a little bit of promise. Some of these. That is quite nice. If a little yellowy. So let's switch this around. Ooh. Actually, when I went round like that, looked quite. Maybe it was there. Oof. Oof. I didn't, Andrew. I found out before Christmas about that. Unfortunately, they went with somebody else, which is fine. But it was a good experience. I put it down to a good experience of having to prepare all this proposal, pulling together a proposal, which was, I'd never had to do anything like that before. So that was an education. So it was a worthwhile exercise. So I know for the next one, let's hope there is a next one. that I kind of know what I'm doing. I think when it comes down to it, they probably got a bit scared that they wouldn't know what I would be producing when I wasn't, once I was offset. Then they had no idea, because I had no idea what the end result would be, and I think they didn't quite like that. I think they'll be used to, just dealing with being able to see straight away what's being done. So I kind of got that impression that it was not their usual way of working, should we say? But it was an experience, one I'm very thankful for. I think I've heard of that, Simon. Right, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, by the way, as you might be able to tell. I'm going to turn off. That dog being a pest. Seems like it. Maybe we'll go with that. What's the? That's a bit bright. Shush phone. If I bring that down to about there, why is this very? Whatever. I'm just wondering why that was quite flat in here. It is very imprecise, Andrew. I think that's the bit that they couldn't really handle. Actually, there's a couple of options here. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a thing. What do you call it? Why is there a line down there? Oh, right, anyway. I'm going to create a temporary. I'm just going to call it 208. Because I think I want to do a few and add these together and see how that turns out. So we're going to be in and out of Photoshop and into here. I'm not sure if I've heard of that one. Oh, something River that I started watching. Something to do with a city nurse coming out and living out in the sticks with the country bumpkins. Go back into Analog Effects Pro. That might have been some. Was that Virgin River? That's the one. Oh, it is that. I think I watched like one episode of it, and I'm like, or two episodes, and I'm like, not for me. I think when I saw there was like multiple series, and I'm like, can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to watch shows I like where there's more than about 2 episodes to catch up on. So I was like, nope. No, thank you. Right, where did I have 208, wasn't it? Do you want Andy? Excuse me. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I just couldn't be bothered. Really could not be bothered. Right, okay. Yeah, very slowly just drag this across here, see what shapes we get, what interaction we get. Okay, so I'm going to take this back to about here. So Kind of looks like sunlight just clipping on that. We'll okay this, but we will come straight back into Analog Effects Pro. The annoying bit about this phase is that I have a rough idea what I want to do. I have no idea if it's going to work, but we'll see. Right, so back to Analog Effects Pro. Why is that? I've already been into it. Why are you giving me this? I still do need to update it. Come on. Right, 208. Right, so we want to go this way this time. We use this darkness over this side. I have the full width of this. Yes, I did. Full 400. And if we bring this down, that'll be quite dark in this, hopefully dark in this corner. Is it? Don't really want these flecks though. No, didn't mean to click on that. Give me the other bit back. There we go. And oh, I haven't. I think the only one I kind of semi-joined was the ICM Photo Mark one. I've stayed well clear of most of them. I can't be to be honest, I can't be bothered with Facebook, and especially Facebook groups, because it's just a load of crap, to be honest. There's some like great stuff out there, but I just can't be bothered with the whole group Facebook group stuff. I never have. Nothing against anybody that does it, but just not for me. Right, so hopefully this will combine with this other frame where it's got the nice yellow coming in here and you've got the darkness over there. Hopefully that'll join up. Fingers crossed. Yes. I think some people might blame the hangover for it though, Simon. I think that might be part of the problem. Right, so we have these 3 frames. If I actually stick all these into a folder, how do we do that? Where's the folder button? There it is. I can just hide that, and then it's only going to affect these 3, so we can then blend these together. And start. That base layer might be a bit strong. Might have to do something with it. Right, multiply. If I take that one out. That one's the issue. I must have made that one a bit too strong. Damn it. Right, let's bring this one up here and change this to soft light. So there's a bit of definition. I have no idea where I'm going with this now. I really don't. A graduated mask across there. Something like that. If I bring this back in, I can bring this in back in weaker. I bring that in with this smaller. So this is why I've been struggling with a lot of these images I've been editing off stream. I really am struggling at the minute. So it would quite, sometimes I would quite like it, like something as dark as this, but I'm just not sure. I bring that up over the top of everybody. Thank you very much. Anybody see a hint of red there? So we could go like that, and we could lighten it a bit. We could drop that. We could increase that. We could start making it a bit better. There's a bit more. I think it's a bit more there now. So if I duplicate this layer, no, I'm going to put this not over the top. Normal. Maybe he's below there. Mask. Start it right at the edge and go across here. Maybe start it about there and get to about there. Let's undo that actually. Start it about there and get to about here. That just softens that edge there. So there's a bit of drama. It's a bit better, Simon. I wouldn't say, well, last week, I don't know if I think you were here last week, but it was struggling last week, but I hadn't restarted it in about 3 or 4 days. So today I did actually do a reset, a restart of the machine just to kind of clear things out. There's been a massive upgrade of the graphics card, so I think that's made a difference. Obviously, it's over a year since Paul built me the current setup, 32 gig machine inside a workstation. So that's made a huge difference. We wouldn't be basically wouldn't be streaming on the on the previous one because it was just a nightmare. So that has made a difference. But yeah, it's I think they only increased the file size to make you upgrade. So the next thing will have to be like motherboard, CPU, that kind of thing. That's the next step. But I mean, at the minute, it's working fine. Touch wood, obviously. Right, so we've got a bit of drama going on, which is good. So I think a few tweaks here, and then maybe a bit more light into here. But I want to have a look at other options. So I'm going to whack these into a folder. Let me hide that and then bring this one back. So we've got to go back to the normal start. So back in Analog Effects Pro, I'm going to have a look to see what other things are being thrown out at me. Recruitment information.
Falling in love with you? Okay.
Get away, TikTok. What was I looking for? WhatsApp. Block. Thank you very much. Come from abroad. No, thank you. Right. So what do we have here? What's this one do? Nah. Just looking for something simple. Let me see that. I mean, that's fairly simple and straightforward, isn't it? A bit more drama with the lens vignette. We increase that to 20-ish. Change the location of it. And we've got a nice drama-filled. You see that there. Levels and curves. That's what I was looking for. So a little bit of a lift there. Bring this further down. Basic adjustments, and probably dial back the saturation a little bit. So it becomes a bit more of a mucky kind of image. Anything else down here which I think there is a few options here to go down. We've got a red one. I'm going to stay away from that one though. I think so, this one's probably red enough. Probably thinking wide on this. And change this film type. Maybe still that, and change that neutral down to there. It's a bit bright, and dial this back a bit. There we go. That can actually come back again. No, it can't. Just not as far. Not as far. Lens vignette can be eased up again. I think maybe be back to like 16, something like that. Probably go to rectangular, just to flatten that top out. It's another kind of semi-dramatic kind of view. So let's go with that. If I go to, I did see one other one on here. This one. I think I'll come back in and I'll just a very quick play with this one. I'll abandon with this version. Yes, I am streaming, chaps. Okay, so we got that, and then we'll head back in. So we're going to get a few versions today. Well, 3 anyway, 2 anyway. Always try to maximise what we can get. Oh, I've got a fisherman's friend left. That'll help with the nose. Blew the cobwebs away. Excuse me. See, I mean, there's loads of. Some of these look quite good. Straight out of the. Why did I spend half an hour trying layering 3 of them together to basically this gives me what I was looking for? So annoying. So we might come back to this one. Right, I was going to have a look at that one called Dark Skies or something, wasn't it? Not that one. Nope. Next up. That's it. That's one. Burning Skies. See that? I find that quite nice. Again, quite dark, quite moody. Yes, very dark, very moody. Yeah, so I mean, there's not much that needs doing to this. That's nearly straight out of the box is fine. Let's okay this, but I am going to come back in for that Maelstrom one as well. Sometimes it gets a little bit exciting, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that's what kind of drew me to it, Andrew. Alright, so let's come back in again. Right, so, excuse me. Come on. There is, Simon, there's a few. I think like this, like I said earlier on, I think it's all about, for me, getting that base colour right. If I can get the base colour right, then I can nearly rely on my presets to take the image forward. Because I'm lazy like that. Maelstrom, that's the one. So we use this one and just refine it a little bit. So we can film type and change that. Pretty much just like that. Just takes that green out of here. That's fine. Lens vignette. So that works. We're going to rectangularize that. Change the balance for this. Oh no, we do want that there. Something like that. We can add in a bit more light there if required. Yeah, I think that's probably there. We can maybe reduce the strength of this a little bit. For ultimate change, contrast between light and dark. Yeah, I think that'll do. What's with all the messages? Right. Foreground. There's foreground in there, Peter. I don't believe you. You know I don't use foregrounds. Foregrounds, you see, are just disappearing. They're just not there. Right, so that looks okay. Oh my god, we're up to 2 and a bit gig. How many versions did we have? Was that the one we made? That was the base one. Yeah, this is the one we made, wasn't it? What would you rather have? That one? Or that one? the second one. Thank you very much. Right, okay, so probably want to save it anyway though. Right, this is going to take a little while to save these out. Well, certainly this one, and then we'll do flatten layer to save the rest of them. Hopefully this will not throw a wobbler just towards the end and decide it wants to be a PSB file. Because you know for a fact that always happens. I should have got rid of most of that bottom group though, shouldn't I? Damn it. They're on 23% anyway. So anyways, if you'd enjoyed the stream so far, please do remember to leave it a like. Give it the old thumbs up. I'd imagine you are all subscribed, but if there's anybody there lurking in the background that is new to the channel and you like what you see, please do subscribe so you can get notified, or at least something might randomly pop up in your YouTube feed when I go live or post videos, etc. The rest of the world's going mad, is it, Simon? I don't know. I haven't really paid attention to what's going on in the world since I don't know when. This is taking a long time, so I'm 36%. I know something about a banking run or something in America. And Gary Lineker was like talk of the town at the weekend. Much of the day was rather quiet. But yes, I haven't really been paying attention to that much stuff recently. But it's nice that you use me as the anchor. I'm glad to be back streaming again after a few days. I wouldn't know, Andrew. I wouldn't know. Far too controversial figure, I think. I believe. Or the government would have us believe anyway. But let's not get political, eh? I think I used to watch, like, you know, during COVID and everything like that, I was religiously watching the news, like, a lot of the time, nearly all day. It would be on while I was doing other things, and then it's just like, I just drew a line under it, like, nah, no more, I'm not watching the news anymore. Well, even though you've been talking about Gary Lineker, my God. Hey, you've still got to put it in the back of the net though, Simon. Don't criticise. Don't criticise the poachers. God, this is still only on 62%. It's taking forever. Somebody has to score the goals, whether you're 2 foot out of the 2 foot over the line or not. Somebody's got to do it, and he was very good at it. He got the goal. Was it 86? He got the golden boot in the World Cup. I can't remember. I was young back then. Yeah, I don't think there's much democracy left in it, Andrew. Ooh, 76%. This will be about the time where it decides it's not going to save it, and it's going to want to save it as a PSB file, and we're going to have to start again. There we go, you bastards. Okay. You bugger. Thought this were might happen. Why don't they just Urgh. Withering Heights. Why don't they just like once it gets to like a 2 gig, just automatically save it as a PSB? You know at the start how big it's going to be. Very annoying. Now we have to. It's actually saving. Oh, it is trying to save it. He's just not telling me how much. I don't know why it takes so long. Because all it is, you know, when you're moving out a 2 gig file on your hard drive, you know, it's seconds. Ooh. Oh, my camera is working. It kind of stopped for a minute there. Simon, you know, before you said like the computer's doing better. I think it's struggling. Come on, don't. I can see me losing this file. I can see it crashing. It's still doing the circular thing. And it hasn't given me a percentage up here on how far through it is. So, I have a feeling I'm going to lose the entire thing. Because I am optimistic like that. God, I hate Photoshop at times. I know. Well, they're not developing Photoshop in the cloud. That'd be good. You just like spend a couple of minutes uploading a gig's worth of files, and then let their computers die. Oh, we're giving it time, Sergio. We're giving it time. Don't worry. It might be 9 o'clock by the time it finishes. Although I think the last time it did this, I thought it wasn't doing anything, and then all of a sudden it had finished saving it. Ooh, Lord knows, Lord knows. Excuse me, my nose is terrible at the minute. But yes, Peter, it should definitely just save it automatically if it's over 2 gig as PSP file. Because it does know how big it is when it starts it, because it says so in the bottom corner under where my face is. It says down there 2.43 gig or something. What, the online stuff? Photoshop in the cloud? Well, you can. I mean, Photoshop is in the cloud because you can do it. You can use an online version through a browser. And you get, with the subscription, you get something like, is it 20 gig space? Or 2 terabyte space? I can't remember. I don't use the online stuff. Well, and the Scotland stuff, I stupidly installed the new Lightroom on my laptop when I went away because I wanted to like make sure everything was I could like download stuff off the card. I didn't realise it was only trying to upload it into the bloody cloud, didn't it? Cat's not been near. Oh, it saved it. It saved it. It's finished. Right. So, he's crashed. Photoshop has gone new. Yeah. Right. Go on, Photoshop. Where are you? Oh dear, indeed. Right. Okay. So, library mode. That's maybe where I'm looking for. Filters off. Has it saved it anywhere along here? No. Right, import. Import, where is it? Storage, photos, 2003, February 27. Why is it not there? I'll tell you. Why is it not there? Computer indeed says no. Well, that's annoying. That's annoying. Okay, so let's cancel this. Right, I might be able to. Probably Paul, but God knows. Open up Photoshop. I'm going to have a quick search on in here, because I have a feeling that for some reason it saves PSB files into somewhere else. Well, yeah, I know. So if I go to photos and PSB, dot PSB, 14 to the 3rd, so that is, why has it gone to March 2nd? Why would it go to March 2nd? Okay, right, so if it's in March 2, is it imported? It's there. Can I move that? Why would it send it there? I don't want to remove it, I want to move it. Can I move you to moving a file on disk? This will cause a be moved if you proceed. No, this. Move. I don't want to do it in Lightroom anyway. So are we now in there? Are we now in? We are in here. Wonderful. Right. So instead of, because I don't want to keep you here for 7 hours, if I switch back to this. It is here. It is here. It was, for some reason, instead of being in February 27th, which is the date it was taken on, and where it would normally save back to, because that's where it originated, it saved it in March 2nd in that folder. Lord knows why. So instead, do I want to open this? I don't know if I want to, actually. Yes, I think off stream I will go back through and save it, like open it back into Photoshop, save each thing as a different layer, as a flattened image, and do all that away from stream. So we will just do a crop of this and call it a night, I think. I think that's probably what it is, Paul. But why would it? Why would it take it from there when it didn't originate from there? It's just annoying. Right, I need to chop off this end, because you can see there's a slight bit line there. Well, we want to do another thing, another crop anyway. This needs to be 3 stars. So create virtual copy. Smell the wallpaper, do you, Peter? Do you indeed? I'm going to have to start making some new prints, by the way, because my open edition prints have been available for too long. I need to change them out, because that's what I'm going to do from kind of now. Is they're only going to be available for short amounts of time. So of the 9 prints that are available now, if you want one, get a move on, because they will be disappearing soon to be replaced with something. I don't know. Right, Paul, no worries. Thank you for that. Right. So we want a normal 3x2. There we go. And went a bit to sky. Okay, so create virtual copy. Let's do another one. And we want a 16x9 for Peter's wallpaper. So maybe about there. And we want another copy. So we want a square or a 5x4. Come on. Did you? Oh, I didn't press the button. Yeah. 1x1. Let's see what that's like. Okay. I think, to be honest, I could still go in and I need to do further work in here, I think. So I don't class this one as finished, obviously, because Photoshop's a knacker. But I think there's probably more to do in here, because we've got this light area. I would like to enhance that a bit more, kind of improve the colours and that kind of stuff. So, but don't want to keep you here till like 11 o'clock. I don't want to be here till 11 o'clock either. I want to go through and sit on my butt on the sofa with another cup of tea. So I think I would probably do a bit more off stream sometime later in the week, just to improve this kind of light areas and try to enhance the undercarriage, the underneath of this cloud. See how that goes. Maybe it's a bit more detail into the stones as well. I think just generally, I think there's a bit more work to do, and then you've got all the other versions as well to refine. Maybe there's probably in the end there's probably only 2 versions out of tonight. But yeah, I think there's still a bit of work to do. So like using Viveza and that kind of thing, just to use that the brightening effect that I usually use for highlighting light. So yeah, I think there's a little bit more to do. The undercarriage. Me and my terminology, Cameraman. What can you say? Apart from, where the bloody hell does he pull this from? Oh man. Right. So I think we've got a few semi-finished versions there. Excuse me. This overcast kind of thing as a 16x9. Like I said, there's these greens in here I'm just not that happy with. So there is some more colour tweaks to play around with, but we're not going to do that when it's already 2.5 gigs. So I will do that later on. So I will not keep you any longer. So I can only thank you immeasurably for. Oh no, Paul. I will show you it if I do finish it. I'll either post it to the socials, or I will show you it next week. I think that's maybe the best plan. I mean, there's not a great amount of work to do. I just want to tweak some of these colours a little bit further. Once we get out of the whole Photoshop thing, and obviously play around with the other versions as well that we did. But obviously there's a risk that Photoshop might break the entire thing, and I don't want to. We nearly lost the entire bloody file anyway, So I don't particularly want to run the risk of losing it again. So we will. I will. If I do finish it or work on it before next week, I will show it off next week. So, right then. Thank you very much for hanging out today. It's been lovely to see you all as always. I don't know. Have I got anything else planned this week for Patreon people and stuff? There won't be actually Patreon people. No worries, John. No worries. Patreon people. I don't know if you've all watched it yet, but the Scotland trip behind the scenes phone version thing is out and on your timelines. So hopefully you've seen that. No worries, Andrew. If anybody else is interested in watching that, you can join Patreon or you can join the YouTube membership to get exclusive access to that. And I will eventually be working on a video that will be like a load of GoPro footage mixed in with the phone and that kind of thing. And I think that might go out on YouTube normally. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. No worries, Sergio. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you all. Probably, Simon. Probably. The lights did flicker yesterday. I don't know. It was something when it was windy. Grand. So yes, if you want to see that behind the scenes stuff, and if you haven't already, join the Patreon, join the YouTube thing, even if it's just for a month. You get to see it, and you'll be able to see all the others from earlier in the year as well. If you're also interested in see what I get up to in my own time. But yeah, right. Until next week, I don't think there was anything else. No, because it'll still be a couple of weeks till the next Patreon Zoom chat, so that'll be in the future. So lovely to see you all. Thank you all so very much for hanging out tonight. We just about got an image out of it. We nearly lost it as well, but you know, we did kind of get there. So thank you again. Look after yourselves. Take care. You know, Peter, in the snow, behave yourself. Be safe. And I know, yeah, thankfully, Kangaroo, thankfully. So until the next week, keep it hard. See yous. That button.